Well, that's it guys, it's game over for Bitcoin, Solana and cryptocurrencies. I'll see you in 4 years time. Bitcoin is breaking beneath a crucial level of support on all of the charts. They gave CZ how many months in prison? They gave him 4 months in prison. The Hong Kong ETFs were a massive flop, with inflows being completely mitigated by GBTC selling pressure on the daily. It's looking like it's time to pack your bags, guys. I'll see you in 4 years time. I'm only fucking with you. I'm about to open 2 new long positions on both Bitcoin and Solana. But before we talk about the charts, as always, it's a Bitcoin Solana update. Let's discuss the news first. Now, starting off with the news for Solana, FTX Estate has sold another 1.8 million Solana to both Galaxy Trading and Panther Capital at a price of $95 to $100 per SOL. Now, this news sounds a lot worse than it actually is. The tokens that FTX is going to be selling on Solana are locked tokens, and they must follow a 4-year unlocking period. And as you can see, the sales which are happening for the FTX Estate are not happening on spot markets, they're happening OTC, which completely mitigates selling pressure. In other news, you can now trade 50,000 plus Solana tokens on Coinbase Wallet. This is because Solana trading on Coinbase Wallet is now powered by Jupiter Exchange, allowing you to tap into 20 liquidity venues and 80,000 tokens for the best prices. Very good news for Jupiter and the Jupe price. There's going to be a new Solana mint happening today, literally in 2 hours time. This is coming from the popular NFT collection Degen Ape Academy, who are going to be listing 2,000 issues of their first edition comic book. So with a low supply of 2,000, with a mint price of $25, and with the massive following of the Degen Ape Academy, I think this is going to be a no-brainer to mint. Additionally, one lucky purchaser is going to win a Degen Ape NFT, currently worth 8.5 Solana. To mint this, head over to the D-Reader app on Twitter, find this post and follow the link. If you create an account with them, you'll get 10% off the mint, so the mint is currently round about 0.2 Sol. I think this is going to sell out almost instantly, probably within a minute like the other DAA mints. So if you're interested in this, I'll leave a link down below. Now let's move on to the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency news. They gave CZ 4 months in prison. CZ went to Twitter to state that our industry has entered a new phase and compliance is super important. A silver lining of this whole process is that Binance has been under the microscope and funds are safer. Moving on, let's talk about the ETFs. Now, yesterday, of course, the Hong Kong ETF debuted, and I posted everything you needed to know about this on Twitter. Now, we talked about this on my channel in the past couple of days or so, and I told you I believe this was going to be fully priced in and ETF inflows were going to be close to nothing. And that's exactly what we saw. A lot of people got very hyped up for this because they were misled with articles and influencers talking about China markets and Asia markets. However, this Hong Kong ETF was exclusively for participants living in Hong Kong. The first day, the Hong Kong ETF saw a total inflow of 112 million, and that is including inflows that came to ETH. So the first day of BTC inflows in the US, to give you some insight, was 4.6 billion. So the Hong Kong inflows were absolutely peanuts compared to what we're seeing in the US markets. And if we're looking at the US ETFs, they sold a total of $161 million worth of BTC, which completely mitigates all inflows that happened from Hong Kong's debut. And I expect Hong Kong inflows to be pretty much flat after this. Either way, cumulative flows for the ETFs are still in a very, very nice place in the macro. I think it's just going to take a bullish catalyst to resume the bullish inflows that we saw since they started trading. Let's now dive into the charts, guys. So the worst case scenario, which we talked about on the channel for the past couple of weeks or so, as you can see, we drew this out about 2 weeks ago as a rough sketch, and it looks like this is exactly what's happening. So while a lot of people are panicking, while a lot of people, I was kind of fucking around with you guys at the start of the video saying, oh, it's game over, but a lot of people are actually going to have that mindset. A lot of retail traders look at charts like these, the falling wedge, the bull flag, and they say, if we lose this, it's game over, we need to short, we need to pack our bags, the Bitcoin price is done for. However, a lot of the time in these markets, these retail patterns are simply made to grab your liquidity and absolutely mess you up. So I told you before, I think in a worst case scenario, something like this could happen, and this would be an SFP, that's a swing failure pattern, where we move beneath the range, we grab liquidity, a lot of shorts come into the market, and we are seeing a lot of shorts coming into the market, which we'll discuss in just 1 second. this is going to grab liquidity and it's probably going to reverse very, very soon. We're seeing this the same with the falling wedge pattern where we have broken to the downside right now for Bitcoin and we lost the support at 58,200. We previously saw this back in 2023 where we were beginning a bull run phase and we saw a textbook head and shoulders pattern. And at this point, when Bitcoin was coming down from 28,000 to 26,000, if you ignore what happened over in this range, this looks like a beautiful topping formation after a run up to the upside. However, we grabbed liquidity with that move down and Bitcoin just said, nah, I don't feel like it. I'm going to reverse, screw this retail pattern. We've got your liquidity. We're moving higher. In my opinion, something very similar is about to happen at this moment in time. And I do have new long positions which I have just set over on Binance, and I'm going to be letting you know my exact entries and take profits on these moves in just 1 second. But first of all, let's just look at a few other charts. Now, if we're moving over to the weekly time frame for Bitcoin, you can see we are at a very crucial level of support right now. From the previous bull run high down to the low, we are sitting at the 786 Fibonacci. Staying above 57,500 on the weekly time frame is very, very crucial. If we start dipping beneath this level, we're going to come down to the place where I'm personally going to be wanting to long from, and I'll let you know what that is later. However, before we talk about that level, I do just want to show you the weekly, the RSI, and previous corrections that we've seen. So you can see right now in 2024, the RSI for Bitcoin went all the way up to 88, and we are having a correction right now, while in my opinion, we are still in a bull run. Now, this correction so far is totaling about 24%. If we go back to the previous bull run and look at what happened when the RSI topped out prior to the all-time high, we were still in a bull run, but we did see a 35% correction after the RSI topped out. If we go back to the previous bull run, just prior to hitting the all-time high, it's the same thing. We saw the RSI top out around about 91 and the price corrected 42%. So what we're witnessing here is every single bull run, there's diminishing returns to the upside and there's also diminishing returns to the downside. That means in the first cycle, Bitcoin might do 1000x. In the next cycle, it might do 100x. In the next cycle, it might do a 20x. But in the first cycle, corrections might be 50% or 42% in this instance. In the next cycle, this RSI correction is only 35%. In the next cycle, yeah, we're not going to see that 100x, but Bitcoin is very, very likely to have diminished returns to the downside. And I think we're probably going to cap off corrections round about 34%. I think it's going to be less than that. I think we're going to start reversing sooner rather than later, but just wanted to put that on your radar. We are still holding right around where the 786 Fibonacci is on the weekly time frame. Now let's look at the Bitcoin liquidation map. As you can see right now, shorts are much more prominent than long positions, and in my opinion, we are pretty much seeing peak euphoria at this moment in time. There are not really many other longs to liquidate. Sure, you know, Bitcoin could move to 54,000. That would literally liquidate all of the longs in the market. However, shorts right now are exceptionally towering over longs. And if we're coming over to the funding rates, they keep dipping negative but keep sitting at neutral, which basically means that you're more incentivized to open a long at this moment in time than you are incentivized to open a short. When this happens, and when shorts are typically towering so much over the longs, this is typically the time where you see a short liquidation. In previous videos that we looked at the liquidation map, we saw that the long liquidation leverage was still rather prominent. However, at this moment in time, it's not. We've already taken the majority of liquidity to the downside, and this is one of the major reasons why I think this move to the downside is a trap, and we should be looking at long positions, not short positions. So where am I going to be looking to enter positions on Bitcoin and Solana? Well, personally, right now, I'm entering in spot. Mainly, I'm entering in spot Solana just because I think the risk to reward is slightly higher. However, where would I be looking to enter leverage longs for Bitcoin? It's going to be this next level of support down here at 53,000. I am not personally saying I think 53,000 could happen. I think it's a little bit 50-50 whether we could go as low as 53,000, but if we do come down here, that's going to be the ultimate position of strength in my opinion, and I will be entering longs from 53,000 to 52,400, and I'll be looking to take profit on this move back up to the upside round about 60,000 or 59,000 approximately. That's where I'm going to be looking to enter my next long position for Bitcoin. Once again, I'm not saying it's 100% confirmed that we're going to come down to these levels. I'm not saying sell now and buy back at these lower levels. I'm not saying short now and wait for us to come down and then open a long. I'm just saying I'm entering spot positions right now, and I'll be entering long positions if we do come down to these levels. And if we do come down to these levels, you can bet funding rates will be purely in the negative. There'll be no more liquidity to grab at these lower levels, and short liquidations will be looking prime for a run to the upside. Now let's head over to Solana. Solana has lost some of the most important levels on the weekly time frame that we've had our eyes on, namely being this green support box ranging between $145 and this touch point down here at $126. And you can see if we zoom into the daily time frame, we have just made a lower low beneath this recent range. However, we're going to discuss that in just one second. I do want to point out that Solana is still holding up amazingly against a lot of other assets. Solana against Bitcoin is holding up extremely well, still in a bullish trajectory. Solana against the US dollar is still holding up extremely well. Solana against Ethereum is holding up super well. Solana against Matic is very, very close to its all-time highs again. Solana against Cardano is also massively outperforming. So while Solana is having a little bit of a move to the downside, which is normal for altcoins in a correction in a bull run, it is still massively outperforming other altcoins. Where am I going to be looking to enter a long for Solana? Well, if we look at the bear market low up to the high, you can see a 50% correction coming down to the 0.5 Fibonacci extension is going to be right here at $110. There's also a very important psychological level at $100. So anywhere between $110 and $100, I will be starting to scale in initially into 5x long positions at 110, and then 20x long positions coming down to $100. Now earlier we discussed how I believe this is going to be a swing failure pattern to the downside for Bitcoin, and we're soon going to reverse, with this really being my main thesis that if the bottom is not in already, worst case scenario, we grab liquidity down here, but I think it's more likely than not that the Bitcoin bottom could potentially already be in today, if not at 53k. I'm seeing a similar pattern develop in Solana, and this is going to be the final chart that we look at today, and this is going to be one of the reasons why I think swing failure patterns could happen on Bitcoin and they could happen on Solana. Now, let's look at what's happening on Solana. You can see we have this massive wick to the downside here at $119, and it's looking like we want to press beneath this level. Now, imagine if this is the low and we have a swing failure pattern, grab liquidity, and then start pushing up higher. Historically, Solana's done this many, many times in this recent run up to the upside in this bull run. You can see when we entered this consolidation phase, just like this consolidation phase here, consolidation, correction, whatever you want to call it, we have these dramatic wicks to the downside, and what tends to happen is this is the floor, this is support, this is support, this is support, we need to hold this level, oh no, we've broken this level, it's game over. No, we just grab liquidity and then we move higher. If we move back, you can see this pattern happen time and time again. You enter a consolidation raise, you have a wick to the downside, this is support, this is support, this is support, it needs to hold, needs to hold, needs to hold. Oh, we lost this level, it's game over. No, we're grabbing liquidity and we move higher. So I think the likelihood of these retail patterns that retail traders are looking at saying, oh no, it's game over, we need to sell, we need to leave the market, these are just going to be liquidity grabs. These are going to be quick swing failure patterns where money and coins move from the impatient to the patient. And I, right now, am going to be looking to scale into some spot and long positions with the targets that I mentioned in today's video very, very soon. That's all for today. Remember the actionables as always. If you're looking to make free money in this market and you don't have any more money to DCA in, your best opportunity is going to be to start mining grass today. Run this in the background of your PC. You're going to get grass points, which later on you can convert into tokens. I've already earned over $500 just using grass in the past 2 months or so. This is something you can do for completely free. This is not traditional mining where it uses your GPU and CPU. It simply uses your spare broadband. So this is an actionable that you can do for completely free. Another free actionable I mentioned in yesterday's video is to try out the Saku Monsters beta. If you've got an iPhone, they have an app on the App Store. Basically, if you try this out soon, then you'll get a free slime egg. This is going to hatch into a Sluggo NFT. The NFTs right now are going for a floor of 1.1 Solana, so it seems completely lucrative to just play this game. It takes about 2 minutes each day to play this game. You get 2 opportunities a day to play it, so in total 6 minutes worth of your time, and your egg will hatch. And then in the future you can sell this, you can floor it for 1.1 Solana if you want, thank me later, or you can hold on to it, it's up to you. The third actionable is going to be to check out the Degen Ape Academy comic book NFT collection. Literally by the time you're watching this, if you watch it as soon as it comes out, you've got about 20 minutes to do this, so this is a bonus for people who've got notifications turned on. If you're too late, if you're watching this video 20 minutes, half an hour after it's uploaded, it's probably already sold out. And the final actionable is to pre-order the Solana Chapter 2 mobile. I'll keep on saying this in every single video. Almost every other video we talk about a new airdrop. I've created a thread of the Solana Mobile Chapter 2 airdrops. So far, they've literally airdropped me about $600 since I pre-ordered the phone for $450. So I literally begged you to get this 2 months ago. I begged you to mine grass 2 months ago. Since I told you guys about these 2 actionables, I've got about $500 from grass, $600 from Solana Chapter 2 mobile. If you want to keep on fading, it's up to you. Referrals are down below. Anyway, for today, that's all I've got. Make sure you follow me over on Twitter at 618_cowboy. And if you enjoyed, smash like on the way out. Peace.